Howdy guys, welcome to my number 2 video log. Actually, if you've noticed, everything's sort of a bit different to my first one. Everything's in a different position. Had to rearrange around the room apparently, because when you move out, apparently you have to do everything that the woman says. So that means rearranging everything goes where they sort of say it. But you know what? We will have our way eventually. I actually was just testing sound quality. Forgot to take the headphones off. All right, so I forgot to do. I shouldn't say I forgot to do one last week. I should say that I sort of ran out of time. I was at the HOTS launch for those who didn't know, but I'll get into that a bit later. But I got back Tuesday night. I planned on doing it Thursday, but you know, HOTS campaign come out, played that the whole day Wednesday, Thursday. Then I had to catch up on 1 week's worth of housework, which was not fun. And then by the time I got through all that Thursday and Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I was just absolutely dead. So I wanted to do this week. I actually wanted to do it last night, but I think I'll be doing it every Tuesday morning. That's Australia time. So it should come out Monday night-ish, Tuesday morning, around lunchtime-ish, thereabouts, which would be really, really nice. Try to get a bit of a consistency with my releases. And also, I think Tuesday, Wednesday is just the quietest part of the week as well. So hopefully I can be consistent enough with my next ones. But yeah, so big notable thing, there's no challenge this week. Obviously, I just did a challenge last week for shits and giggles, so that's okay. I believe Rifkin Baldy and I think there's someone else, they're still on the challenge thing for some monetary amount. So they have some random challenge that will be coming up, so that will be quite hilarious to watch. So you can go check them out on the other parts of I think it's the Map Control Base Trade YouTube. My mind is everywhere. But aside from that, if anyone didn't go to any of the HOTS launches, I mean, if you were in Australia, America, Europe, anywhere, you didn't go to a HOTS launch, seriously, you were missing out. It was fantastic. I'm sure it was fantastic no matter where you went. Unfortunately, I do know the Australian one had some issues on stream, so that wasn't very good, but all in all, the live event was freaking amazing. So, guys, if you didn't go to the live event, you really did miss out. When Legacy of the Void comes out, go to the live event. It's going to be awesome. And from what I heard, especially because we met some of the EB game guys up there, some of the higher up people came along to just to have a watch, have a listen, get some people's feedback. And they said it was a lot better than the Wings of Liberty launch. So, can only expect even more for the Legacy of the Void, which would be the third expansion, which would be sick. But yeah, that was actually my first time on stage. So the first time I was sort of live was WCS New Zealand, which was really, really fun, but it wasn't directly in front of people. We were sort of off to the side, and then we didn't have a camera on us. It was just all done through overlays and that, so we were never really on camera. But this was the first one, like, we were in front of a few thousand people. There was a lot of people there. Now, I don't know if they were exaggerating the numbers, but there was a lot of people. Like, Federation Square was packed. It was mind blowing, and yeah, it was really, really sick. Everyone was really, really keen. If there was actually a memorable moment, actually there were a couple because the event itself was really cool. But any memorable moment would be, I think, the first bit where we were all just sort of there planning and going, okay, this is what we're doing, blah blah blah, and just these topless drunk blokes start walking past, just screaming and slander and going on about how we're nerds and we have no life, and we're all up there like all dressed up really nice. All of us are dressed up really nice, but they see the game thing, they take it upon themselves to start swearing and slandering. We're just all up there shitting ourselves laughing. It doesn't matter, we don't even care. And that actually sort of led later on into the night, because we had another group. Now there was a music festival, I believe, because we had fireworks across the river that we still had to like have an intermission for. So we had another group of people come through from there, and they started beating each other up in front of the stage. So I don't think we were casting. I think it was a sort of an intermission thing. And these two groups come up, and then I think one guy hit a girl. I didn't see that bit, but then these two guys are going at it, and one of the awesome nerds in the audience, I mean, seriously, this guy deserves props and a medal. I don't know who it was. I didn't get to see who it was. Gets up and just goes absolutely apeshit at them and just screams at them, and they just both piss off. The audience just went into applause. It was seriously amazing. That guy, you get lots of love, man. That was freaking amazing. Aside from that, we did have a lot of younger people there. So there was there's a fair few older people, but I did see a lot of like 10-year-olds, just a bit above, just a bit above. I actually had just a bit below. I had one really young one that was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and he was lining up to see all the casters and the players, and that was really really cool. And he wanted to have a talk to everyone and just say what he liked to do, which is really cool. Since I work with kids, I was like, yeah, I'll just go talk to him. Everyone, I think a lot of people were really interested though. Was the Luke, the graphic artist? His art was hands down the best stuff I've ever seen. Now, not necessarily because it looks good, but because how efficient he is. Like I was watching him behind the stage quite a lot, and it was just like watching a StarCraft Pro player. There was just his hand was all over the keyboard, and the mouse was. Sorry, I shouldn't say the mouse. Should say the tablet. It's just screaming down there, and you see all these colors start appearing, and it's just like whoa. But it was really really sick to watch him do that. And Dustin Brad, it was pretty cool. We got to have a chat to him earlier, and I asked him about the custom UI, and he was like, yeah, we want to give as much customization to the people as possible. They want to see what we... it all comes down to, I think, is they want to see what we can do with what we're given. So the custom UI, I mean, we're seeing, like, I believe David Kim posted some not patch notes, it's their thoughts on balance at the minute. And there was a whole lot of, they're seeing so much from... They've given us this set of stuff, and they're saying, okay, this is what we're expecting you to do over here, and then we're not just going over here. We're just we're somewhere over in like another solar system somewhere. They have no idea what the hell we're doing with their stuff, but apparently it's all really good, and they're really excited. And they're really keen about. We actually asked Dustin about some of the Terran balance, so what the Warhound, the medevac drops. So, yeah, Dustin did say that the Warhound was effectively a Marauder, and they kept trying to make it work, but they always kept coming back to everyone going, it's the Marauder, just scrap it, we can't do anything with it. So that was really, really cool to hear that. I mean, I think everyone sort of really knew that it was the Marauder, and it was still pretty OP, but they did scrap it. I don't think it's coming back. I don't think they were pretty keen on coming back, but it's in the campaign, regardless. Anyway, and then there was the booster medevac, which they were pretty keen. He said they're thinking of changing it, but they don't want to remove it because, well, personally, I think the booster medevac's pretty sick. But I don't know. Like in certain situations, if your opponent can't deal with it, it's ridiculously good. But if your opponent can deal with it, it doesn't really give you too much of an advantage. It's sort of like, I suppose, like Banglings and splitting Marines. If you don't split your Marines, Banglings just go to your Marines and they die. But if you split them, it's a bit more of a fair field. And sometimes, if not a majority of the time, you actually come out more cost efficient, which is, I suppose, what you do. But it rewards the ability of micro. I sort of liken the medevac booster thrusters to that, where if you know how to defend against it and have good vision, you have good mini-map awareness, and you just have the general right composition of an army, and I keep knocking this bloody microphone, then it's seemingly that it's just easy to defend, like easy enough to defend. Like we're seeing a lot on the weekend, like Life took MLG and everyone's going, oh, Terran's OP, there's so many Terran in the top 8, blah blah blah. But Zerg ended up taking it again, and I think Life said Zerg's pretty weak at the moment. I do agree. I think I agree on that. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been able to play too much. Campaign, yes, but not ladder. But I think they're a bit weaker, but every race is coming. I think their skill ceiling just went up there a bit more. So it should be really, really interesting to see what comes out. Anyway, I'm sort of a bit split opinion. As a Propraetos, the only thing I want to see nerfed is really the Oracle. I think it's a bit too strong. It's Pulsar Beam. I think it's a bit too strong. Like, you get that and get in your base, and you can say goodbye to every single goddamn worker you have. The thing, it just like, it eats workers for breakfast. So that's really about it for HOTS. I'm not too split on it, really. But yeah, just the Oracle, I think, would be the only thing I'd like to see different. Otherwise, HOTS is pretty good. It's pretty awesome. Now, the other thing I've been working on is this custom UI. So a lot of people have been like, oh my god, we can make our own, I can't remember what UI stands for. We can make our own heads-up display in-game, so we can change where everything is. But it's simple enough when you know the commands, but there's nothing that teaches you the commands. So like you're going into it's all through the StarCraft 2 editor, by the way. So if you want to have a fiddle with it, you go into the StarCraft 2 editor, you make a new mod. So there's I think a few different things, but the last one's like a mod for triggers and all that, and they've actually input a new tab for UI, and it's all through that. You just got to add everything in there, and it's cool, it's fun, but you've got to sort of overwrite what Blizzard's put in. So you're not saying, okay, we're starting from scratch and we're going to add this in. Blizzard's saying, okay, all this is in there. If you want to get rid of it, you get rid of it. So you're saying, okay, well, I want the mini-map over here. So you've got to tell it to ignore what it's Blizzard saying by nullifying what Blizzard's saying, and then you're telling it to go over here. So it's two steps. You're telling it to either get rid of it and then where it's going, or you're saying, I want to move it and then telling where it's going. So, for example, I move the mini-map to the right. I've moved it back to the left, but you can move it to the right and go, okay, I have this mini-map. I want it on the right, and I want it bigger. So you're sort of saying, okay, it's anchored to the left-hand side of the screen, but I don't want to anchor to the left-hand side of the screen because I want to put it on the right side of the screen. So the left anchor, you can piss off, but you're writing a command to tell it to piss off. And then you're going, okay, now I want to anchor to the right-hand side, so you tell it to anchor to that. And then it might go, but in the bottom it says it's in the middle, so it's in the middle of the screen anchored to the right, which means it's just going to be like, it's going to be everywhere. So you've got to redo that as well. So it's really, really cool, some of the stuff you can actually pull off with that. And some of the stuff I've seen from other people, like they've actually changed the textures. You can change the textures of all the UI in-game, so it's actually part of the game and not a overlay. It's not an overlay over the top. So technically, what I'm thinking is if you are patient enough, you should be able to stream a game of StarCraft with no overlays whatsoever and have everything incorporated with aside from video. So pictures I think you can do. So for example, you had a major sponsor, I think you should be able to plaster it in there somewhere because you can put custom pictures in. But as for video, for example, GIFs, rotating video so you see all your sponsors, that's going to be the only thing that you can't do, I think. I think hopefully next week I'll have something a bit more better to show you. At the minute it's just sort of like, you know, a bit plain. There's nothing amazing about it at the minute. So fingers crossed next week we'll have something custom, something for custom UI to show. I want it done by the weekend hopefully, because I've got an event to cast then, which will be the Southeast Asia Clan League semi-finals for Tier 2, which is the Master GM League, but just before the pro level. So I want a custom UI for that because that would be sick. And I keep looking down here at my picture, and I should be looking at this camera, which is I'm very, very naughty for. But yeah, so I mean, aside from that, I'm actually living out of home. I've been living out of home for a month and a bit, I think now. It's pretty fun. It's hard, different, but it's pretty fun. That's the reason for this. My titles on my video logs is actually going downstairs, doing housework and cooking. Mind you, I did do a whole lot of cooking yesterday. That was fun. Actually, I should do a video log about that because I do love my cooking. Not desserts or anything like that, not cakes, but when it comes to like I did chicken parmigiana last night with red potatoes, and it tasted freaking amazing. And this morning I had noodles with a tomato-y based sauce, which is really nice as well. So actually I might end up doing that when I get a bit more like, oh, I can take videos and all this sort of thing. At the minute, I'm still learning my Photoshop. I'm still developing that, so I don't want to be going into Premiere too much until I've got Adobe down pat fairly well. I actually went out and bought myself a tablet, which I've been doodling with quite a lot. So my tablet, it's awesome, by the way. I do love my doodling. I've been trying to draw some stuff on there, just getting the hang of it. I can draw, but drawing on a tablet, you sort of feel disjointed, like you're moving your hand down, and then you're going, I'm looking at it, looking at the screen, and this is what I want to do, and this is what ends up happening is just your hand goes everywhere because it's just you can't watch it, you can't make sure it's staying straight on the tablet because it might be straight on the tablet, but it might not be staying straight on the screen. So you've got to watch the screen and not look at the tablet. So it's sort of like using the mouse in a way, I suppose, but it's not a mouse. It's actually holding like a pen. So I'm slowly getting better at it, but it's just really, really retarded. Aside from that, we did have Comic-Con last weekend. Didn't go to it. I'm actually really sad about that. I'm really disappointed. Didn't have the money, unfortunately, but from what I heard, it was really, really good. But more on that, I'll be doing AvCon this year. So guys, if you're in Australia, come down to AvCon. I shall be at PAX as well the week after. So definitely go to PAX as well in Melbourne. But if you're in Australia, come down to AFCON in South Australia. It'll be in July. I'll be running the StarCraft stuff. Fingers crossed. Hang on. Fingers crossed. I should be running the StarCraft esports area. So more so just making sure like, okay, this is how it should be run. Blah blah blah. And big fingers crossed. It all works out really well. We should be having our own esports area, which would be awesome. Instead of like having here's the LAN area. If you want to play some competitions, go for it. But it's not very professional. It doesn't work really well. So hopefully we'll get something a bit more professional like that. And also, I'm hoping I get to be one of the hosts as well. So I might be able to do some of the opening night, but more importantly the quiz night. The quiz night's actually really cool. So I'm really hoping. I'm like really want to do that. It's going to be so exciting. But hopefully I get to do that, which would be really sick. But I think that's really about it. Now, my life really isn't that exciting. I do work with kids. Actually, no, I can talk about work just for a minute because, oh my god, I have so much. Okay, now I don't want to say the word because if I do that, I have to put an M rating on the thing. But I have so much B wording to do, winky winky, about my workplace because everyone can be either really lovely or overbearing cows. So I think I might save a majority of that for next week. But I reckon I could probably come up with enough gossip for every video log I do. I could do one every week and still have plenty of gossip left over, and plenty of whinging, plenty of whining, plenty of just aggravation. Like for example, this is one I'll leave on as well. Is Monday morning. So yesterday morning for me, but Monday morning. I come into work, we've got the heater guy coming in, he's going to have a look at the plant room and have a look in there, and he's like, okay, I need to turn off the pumps and I've got to replace a part in the heater. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I've done my pool operators, I've done all that sort of, so I've done pool operators, I did study engineering, so I know what's going on, so I'm quite happy with it. Off he goes, I'm like, yep, go for it, I'll just show him where everything is, and he goes for it, and he goes, alright, he's done it, turns everything back on, look, go in there, everything's fine, leave. And about 10 minutes later, I get some of the lap swimmers coming out, and they're going, yeah, your showers. He didn't tell me what was wrong with it, but he's like, I was in the shower, and he was jumping right out, and this is his Asian bloke, his English isn't very good, but he's really nice. So he's just jumping out, he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh, so there mustn't be any hot water. Go in there, and I'm like, okay, well, let's just turn it on in the middle, and there's like no water pressure. I'm like, what's going on? I turn it to the cold area, there's no cold water. Now, no hot water's fine because you can go, okay, look guys, there's no hot water, you can still rinse, but there's just no hot water. It's just going to be a bit cold. So you can still rinse the chlorine off, all good. When there's no cold water, what you get is a scalding hot shower that you have to tell everyone in the swimming centre, so you can't shower unless you want to burn your face off. And then I discovered it was only the men's showers that did it. So thankfully that like vetted a huge crisis. He was the only man in. He was the last man out. And then I had one bloke come in after that for the next 2 hours, which was thankfully good because it was all the baby lessons. And as we all know, mums love bringing their babies to swimming instead of the blokes. So yeah, apparently someone went in one of our store cupboards and turned the cold water off. So I'm thinking it was the heater bloke, but who has any bloody idea? But that's the sort of stuff that happens at my workplace. It's stupid, doesn't make sense, but apparently it happens. Anyway, that's the end of this video log. If you have any requests, I'm very bad at reading YouTube comments. So guys, if I don't read YouTube comments and you have something you would like to say, email me at flamgasc2 That's the best way to contact me. Otherwise, Twitter is at flamgasc2. You can follow me there. At the moment, I'm not going to be uploading any content to my own YouTube. There's no real good replays at the moment out floating about that people haven't done already. So if I come across any good replays, I'll probably end up doing it with the base trade guys right here and upload it here. Because, you know, that's the way we do it. And if I find anything that I want to do myself, I'll upload it to my own YouTube. So I might do something else like that. But I think there's one more thing I'm thinking of doing. And I know someone else was doing this before, but normally everyone does achievement videos. But I don't just want to do an achievement video, I want to do brutal achievements. So that's what I'm doing on the campaign, is getting every achievement on brutal. Because you don't have to do them on normal. Normal's easy, but I want them on brutal. So I'm going to try doing that, and I'm going to maybe do some speedrun videos and try to do them as fast as possible. So yeah, guys, if you think that's quite interesting, email me, tweet me. That would work. That's the best. Again, that's the best way to get in contact with me. And yeah, I'll probably get started a bit on that because that'd be pretty interesting. Until then, guys, thank you for listening and tuning into my blabberiness. Actually, no, quickly shout out to Jazz. Shout out to Jazz who was at the HOTS launch. Hearts to you for coming out to the HOTS launch and saying hi and saying you're amazing because that meant a lot and I nearly cried. All right, guys, peace out. Peace out.